Okay, welcome everyone and good morning. How are you? It's been a while. Auntie Ruth, how have you been? You went on sabbatical leave. Abby, what's happening?
Good morning, ma'am. I didn't know they altered my alarm, so and I've been busy lately. So
It's the same thing that we're talking about. It's Christmas. You've been busy lately. Please share money. All of you business people, please remember us in your paradise. It's Christmas. Everyone is on the season jamboree now. Please remember us in your paradise. Anyway, um, welcome everyone. Uncle Tunde Nachuku, welcome. And Susan Kule. Hope I said that one. Which one is Ekule again? I know Ekule is greeting of something, but I don't know. There's lots of Eku something. But it's fine. Anyway, so today,
your voice is faint, so I'm struggling to hear you. Is it from
oh,
my end?
oh, okay, let me increase the tempo. It's just that this morning, I just feel like still being in bed. Oh, it's okay. Let's get the session started. We'll maybe catch take some nap after this before we get ready for the day's
We are
activity.
pants now.
Okay, so today we welcome everyone, and then it's Thursday. It's Tuesday. See my life, Jesus Christ of Nazareth. It's Tuesday, the 25th of November 2025. We have just 1 month to the end of the year. I'm excited because in less than 3 weeks, we'll vacate. The school will close for the holiday. So I'll breathe small, even though I have other things that I need to do all through the holiday. But at least I'm not going to say, stop making noise, put away your phones. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, some of the things that I didn't do them in the university though, but like people do, those are the things I experienced in class. But I wasn't that noise maker in the classroom. I just sit in front and listen. But lots of things I experience every day. And then I imagine how lecturers tolerated us even when they didn't have to, because the class was so large, they cared less about people beyond the third row. So they speak to the people in front and no, allow you to do you. But now with a smaller class, you need to get everybody's attention. Anyway, I'm excited the holiday is coming. How about you? Are you excited? Was the excitement about the Christmas? Is it the resting period, or is it some of us will be busy all through? Even on the 25th, we'll be busy. Any plans? Anything worth sharing as we prepare for Christmas? Any word? I'd already apologized for my face not showing this morning. Like it's just that I couldn't finish. I didn't go down early to get myself ready. Tunde Nachuku said, I'm not sure of breakfast this morning. Praise the Lord. Congratulations. Anyway, let's start the session. Today we are discussing, remember we are still in the 4th week of November, and it's all about the life we are building. and having discussed all the character and life choices, have to talk about the consequences, the roots, and everything. Now we are talking about the life we are building. It's also a good way to start planning for the new year, 2026. Um, and we're supposed to do our goal setting. I hope we'll still have time to do that, but let's see how that goes. But today we are looking at just something simple, also coming from what we discussed yesterday, that our skills can fade, what we know can fade, but our character stays. So it's something that is obvious, everyone knows, but I don't know everyone takes it to heart that it's just as simple as it is, but it's the biggest truth that we some of us are struggling to take in, because everywhere you look, skill acquisition, this one, that one, AI, automation, upskilling, reskilling, downskilling, everything is all about acquiring skill. Nobody's asking the question, what do I do with these people? When we acquire the skill, what do we do with them? Um, because the more you give people responsibility, if we don't train their minds to think better and to think about the process of getting that thing done, they will maneuver their ways. They will find unethical ways to do things. But when as you're asking them to, improve on the skills, do something better, check the trend, and then know whether they should reskill or upskill. You're also telling them about their character, because they could acquire all those things. And trust me, we are talking about AI today. Tomorrow it might not be AI, it might be something else. There was a time that it's all about financial skills, all about everybody needs to go and learn computer, learn some other things. But now you learning computer is even not the learning how to even press the computer. No, this one here, just everybody is just getting into AI. Let's get the skill, which is good. But then we also see how AI is also causing harm, also breeding in unethical practices. So what do we do with people? How do we get people to understand that they can lose their job, they can change industry, they can outgrow a career? Sometimes we feel, okay, I'm no longer fit in this place, but the person you are becoming stays through with you. The person you are becoming stays through. No matter everywhere you go, it follows you. Every skill that you're acquiring, it's also there to help you, you know, acquire that skill very well, and then make use of all the knowledge. Also being disciplined and diligent, because it takes a lot of discipline to say to yourself, I've scheduled this, I want to achieve this, but this is how it's going. So just like I said, you can lose your job, you can change career, you can even stop using that skill that you spend loads of money to acquire. I remember when this, what do you call this, business analysis came out, and everybody running to business analyst, this one, that one. Who is doing business analysis like that again? These days, AI can just close its eyes and decode everything in 2 hours. But some of us paid through our noses. I paid 2 something million to learn business analysis. At the end of the day, all those things that you code, you would user interface and user whatever. Still, you can still use it in other area, but it's not as It's something that you can put into a ChatGPT or into any of the AI, and bam, you get all your answers. So why do you have to pay all the millions to learn it? So as just as AI is also we're just getting started. Before you know it now, we will have another thing. I learned that Mark Zuckerberg was that guy. God will help him. He's developing glasses, that's eyeglasses that you can make call with, that you can touch and you can see whatever. That is just connects with your, is it your brain or something that thinks, and then also your hand. I don't know what that man is doing, but God will help us. So before we know it, AI will also get somewhere or even transition into something else that you don't even need to carry laptop. And these days, all you need is maybe your palm and everything. You now be clicking on your palm and all the information will just be, you are seeing it live and direct. It's okay. But it's all well. So we will get to a point where we don't need all these skills because there's a new one in vogue. But what do we do with it? So let's start with a question, and I'm asking everybody, you can share. What is one skill you used to be very good at or haven't used in years? Just for us to start the session. Any skill that you were a baba, a master before, but you haven't used it in recent times. What is that skill? Anyone? Hey, what's happening in the chat? Tunde is still complaining about this food thing. Uh, okay, breakfast has been served. Can you imagine? Anyway, Ngozi said, I'm sorry for people with small palm share. Mine is big enough. Yes, it will get to that point. Then you just have to punch on your palm and everything. You have it clear and direct. You don't need phone. Augustina says, sewing for me, acquired sewing skill, but now it's teaching skill that we are using now to help our children learn. See how life is. Agnes says, professional news reading. I worked in radio for over 4 years. Did you just decide not to work in radio anymore, or that's not really a thing for me now? I have other things, or what happened with the radio vibe? Mm, let it go. Breakfast go. Anyway, just know that I'm coming. Okay, I sing very well, but food and family has taken over. Okay, those are people sharing. Another person wants to unmute and share. What skill have you acquired before now? But these days you've outgrown it, or it's no longer something you're excited about. You rather do something else with your time and your energy, and something different or skill. Anyone wants to share? It's just for us to build examples around what we are saying. That if you acquire skill, something new comes up, you blend. But then before you know it, you figure that it's no longer useful to me. I've transitioned into something better. I've grown. I want to do some other thing, which is good because the world evolves and you need to evolve with it. But what we are saying is that those skills, when you acquire character, character doesn't fade, rather it multiplies. When people know you of being a person of integrity, they can trust you. And once they trust you, they can give you opportunities. They can, make you friends. You build relationship. You build lots of things. So character multiplies, but then skills can fade if you no longer need it. Mr. Tunde Nachu, go ahead.
Morning, character champions. There are quite a lot of skills I used to have. I remember a time in my life I was a very competent photographer. I have covered um, dozens of wedding photography, but now I no longer do that. So there was a time I was a graphic artist. Every graphics of the business we got, because for printing, you would most clients will want you to design their jobs for them. I also print. So I used to be the one who handled the graphic design of my my business, but I can't remember when last I did that. When we're also still very small, I used to operate my machine, some of my machine. I understood the operating of the machine. Even when there are some mini repairs, I could carry it out. The same machine I was operating there is still around, but then I wonder if I could do anything on it. You know, a number of times when I talk to my team members, because they don't see me do those things, they think that I don't know how to do them. And recently there was a design we needed to do, and I just sat down and I did it. So there are some of these things that I used to do, but I do them no more. Sometimes I just look at it that how time flies. Another thing is that I used to be my chief operation officer, but even though I'm still involved in the operation, but now I have people do those things that I used to do. And sometimes my team members will look at me. I think that we're talking one day that one of them said that, hey, I don't really do much these days. It's just to come and sit down. I look them and I smile. So there are quite a lot of things that I used to do that time does not permit. But there's something I still do and I'll continue to do, and that's to eat my breakfast. Thank you.
Hey, God. Ah, the way you prepare us with this breakfast thing, God. I don't even know who gives you breakfast early in the morning like this. I don't understand.
It's my
Seven
wife.
20.
It's my wife.
I don't know what
My
to
wife.
say to.
My wife gives me breakfast and she has gone to work now. And the breakfast is on the table. Augustine, I'm expecting you, please.
Ruth, please go ahead. Go ahead. This whole breakfast thing is now peppering me.
Morning, character champions.
Good
It's been
morning.
a long time away from here. So, there are a number of skills that, uh, how do I say it? They go in extinction after a while. As at 2018, 2019, I was really obsessed with coming online, becoming a person of value, impacting lives, and all of that. There were a number of skills I was just paying for, a number of courses. And they say after learning, you can make millions with it and all of that. But immediately after the training, you just found out that this is just a waste of money. But then, um, as things go, as days go by, new things emerge. Like the AI, it's a new trend that whether you are a tech person or not, if you know how to prompt any AI tool, you'll be at top of the game. A lot of people will reach out to me and say, Ruth, how do you do this your thing? How are you posting every now and then? You post up to 25 times a day. Are you always online? I said, I'm not always online. There are tools that I use in scheduling my posts. There are tools I use in creating my content. There are tools I use in creating my designs. You know, the first skill I learned online was graphic designing, and I made a few change with it. But now, I don't think I can still sit down and say, okay, I I want to start doing my graphics myself. I also learned social media management, and I also managed a few pages. But now I don't have that luxury of time to manage people's pages myself. So we still manage pages, but my team do that, and I guide them on what to do and how to do it. So for me, I'm more into the knowledge industry, you know, teaching people the how, the what, the when, and get money in exchange for that. So um, hard skill is still very, 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 very essential, because really the real life is offline. You know, even though you connect with people beyond your borders, beyond your location on the online space, the real life is still offline. I was telling one of my mentees yesterday, was it yesterday or early last week? I was telling her that, see, because she was complaining about her neighbors and all. I said, if anything happens or if any emergency happens, the first person that will come to your rescue is your neighbor, not the online people. It is if you survive it that you will come online and say, hey, thank God for me, and everyone will say, oh, congratulations and all of that. But the first person that will rush and come to you is your neighbor. So if you're not in good terms with your neighbor, if you shout for nothing tomorrow, nobody will come outside. So in essence, for me, talent, skill, or um, acquisition is evolves with time and age. And for me, the other soft skills I learned, I'm not making money with it, because how many people would like design, do graphics for before they will pay me 1 million? Because my mouth don't wide now, you know. So one person cannot pay me one flyer for 50,000. They are pricing you 5,000, 10,000, and I don't have that time, you know, to start designing and going back and forth. So, knowledge money all the way. Good morning, everyone.
For sharing. Thanks for sharing. Lots of things we learn every day, but oftentimes we don't even use those things. But one thing about knowledge is it can come handy anytime, especially when you need it. Because you acquired the skill long time ago, sometimes you may need to use a little part of it to achieve something, and you see yourself going back to that skill. So no knowledge is a waste. But that's one of the things that they taught us growing up. So you learn this one, learn this one, learn this one, so that you're adding up to other things that life has exposed you to. So what we are actually talking about today is that when we don't use these skills, they decline. When we don't, practice with these skills, we don't try. You learn something today, um, you decide to, okay, let me leave it for a while. I'm not going to use it yet. By the time you want to come back to it, you will realize that, oh, you still need to brush up a bit so that you remember some of the things that you were taught. And so But when the if you were a kind person, and you were a kind person back then, the way you treated people, the discipline you showed, the way you handled pressure, that part didn't just disappear all of a sudden. Even when you don't use it, because it has registered in people's head, they will still come back to you to say, oh, this time you did this, or you were able to achieve this, or you can do this. It also happens with our skills. That's why there's something around excellence. Excellence is around character. When you use excellence around every skill that you acquire, people will not forget you in a hurry. It's not about the skill, it's how you use the skill. That's why the how is very important. The character is very important because you can even acquire loads of skills. At the end of the day, you are not using any. And then when you eventually use it, people would not appreciate it. So was the use. But if you are an excellent person, which is character, because character stays, people remember how you made them feel with that thing that you did for them, with that skill. So it's not about what you were giving, it's about how other people perceive it. So time can weaken talent. Also skills become outdated, and the trends change. These days, people are wearing palazzo everywhere. There was a time when you wear palazzo, they say, "Are you from the 60s or the 50s?" But now it's back trend. Like people wear palazzos, people wear big baggies. And I love how it makes you look pretty and rich auntie vibes and rich uncle vibe rather than all those skinny trousers and all that. So it's a trend that is back, and people are just looking beautiful with it. Industries evolve as well. So things that I know that the children of these days, if you ever mention to them that there was a time we used lantern and kerosene lantern, some of them might not have seen kerosene lantern before. Um, some of them might not have seen all these the DVDs and everything that we used to use then. So they don't understand what it means. So industry also evolve. The things that they know now is tablets, laptop. I don't think they even want to go close to a desktop, except the those slicky ones that they're in their labs and all that. So, someone who is a techie person in 2025 cannot even survive today because you accept the person of skills. So, because the kind of tech we had in 2025, it's not the kind of tech we are using now. So, if you are an actor or a musician and you don't rehearse, you don't practice, you don't change your game, now lots of people are going on YouTube for, as in the Nollywood is like booming the YouTube space. And then people don't spend so much money. If I can get it on YouTube, why do I want to go to cinema and pay for it? Yes, we still see lots of movies get excitement in cinema, but other people are making loads of views, So that's another trend. But then people there, they keep polishing their skills. It's not what we used to see before, and everything has changed, the dressing and all that. So then also about the professionals. So when you're a professional, you've learned something, but then if you stop learning, you become relevant. People don't want to associate with you because they are kind of worried that they're not learning anything from you. So why do I want to stick with this person? But character is the only part of you that doesn't expire, it compounds. Like I said before, it multiplies. When you did something beautiful today, just think about it, like using excellence as an example. And you think about one excellent thing that you've done and how people till today would keep appreciating you, would keep calling you back because you are one person that they will get to do that presentation, they will get to do that training and all that. So, because it's not about the skill now, it's about how you delivered, it's about the excellence, it's about the integrity that you added to it. It's about that you said you will show up at 5 and you showed up even before 5. It's more like, oh, you met deadline. Even when the target is like crazy, but you still manage to finish. So people may forget your competence, but they remember your honesty. They remember how humble you were when you came for the program or when you reach out to them for something amazing. So they remember your integrity, the truth that you spoke, the way you disciplined yourself, the way you managed to give in your best in little things. Some people would say, oh, this small thing, oh, let me fling it and then I would give my best. But you never can tell what people would use to start judging you immediately. So, people will also remember how safe you were with them, working with you, and they will definitely remember how you made them feel. It's not every day that you're too nice, but at the end of the day, they know you care. So those are little things that, as far as character is concerned, it expands, it compounds, it adds up. Like you don't have to do so much to prove to people that you care or that you are an excellent person, because we already know that competence will get you in the room, but character decide whether you will remain in that room or you'll be asked to walk away. Very, very, like, especially now, that people do not have patience for anything. So before your CV gets to them, they will scan through and then they will bring you in. And if things are not going well, they're already looking for someone else to replace you. And because there is tech, there's everything, people can always, find a way to do that job that they would have paid someone to do. Especially now there is AI and you can prompt AI to do whatever you want. But then when they think about, oh, I don't want to lose this person just because she shows up every morning, just because she responds when needed, just because she meets deadline, just because you can trust her to deliver. And when those things are just about character, it's no longer about the skill. And they would want to give you another chance. And these days, organization will go beyond, doing all the aptitude tests. They want to do personality tests before they allow you work with them, because they are looking for a particular set of they're looking for a particular set of skill. They are trying to get the particular set of people to work with them. So it's not you just having passing all the results and passing all the tests and then having a good result, but they are also looking at, can we trust this person? Can we work with this person? And everything. So maybe just thinking about it, you can just like imagine, think about someone you once admired for their brilliance. They have all the good skills, ticked, check, check, check. But over time, their attitude or their arrogance, their unreliability erase that admiration. You used to like this person, you work with this person is your friend, but often later you realize that this person can't even make it for a 5 o'clock event. this person can make it for this person is arrogant, this person is very, you know, um, my sister on Sunday, on Saturday was telling me, oh, they swapped my time for Sam, reading Sam in the church. And I was like, why? That the choir master came and said, see this person that we gave 6:30, that the person can make it. That person is a perpetual late comer. So we rather give future when we know that you will come early, and then we'll swap the person to 10. So let's just hope that by 9 the person will get here, because the person would also need to attend 8. So there's no way the person will not be a judge by 10. You see, um, it's not something written, but when opportunity is given to you and then the person is looking back, no, 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 I can't risk this thing. She will say she will come, but will end up her showing up at 7 by the time the mass is almost over. So, I laughed over it, but that's little thing that matters. I remember back then, my former place of work, there is this person that once you mention the name, everybody will say, "Don't worry, she will come late." It's our nature. There's no need. Just except you give her maybe people are about to leave at 7, you tell her like 6, then she'll try to meet up with 6:45. And you are still in good space. But then let people don't know, not know you with all those things. You know, they once they start, yes, you are good with your skill, but then the skills will not protect you, especially when character exposes you. When you're supposed to deliver something, you're supposed to be on time, you're supposed to do little things of every day, remind people of who you are. And it really matters everywhere. So, and sometimes people stay in a job or stay in a role, not necessarily because nobody can beat them in that role. They are the best that role can offer, but it's also because of their character. Their boss can trust them, their boss can depend on them to get things done. So those are things that we need to start thinking through and saying, okay, this is how everything comes together when we are a person of character. The skill there helps us to grow, but character expands, um, appreciates, compounds, because people want to associate with people of good character. Go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. Sorry, I didn't know I didn't unmute. Hope everyone can hear me.
Yes, we can. Right.
Okay, thank you, ma. Okay, so just a quick one. We are talking about the power of character, how character stays even when skills fade away. Honestly, I agree with that concept, or that, will I call it concept or or ideology. The truth is that character will always stand the test of time in every situation. I something happened recently that I would like to just share with us. There was an experience I had shared with every one of us here on a particular period. They were talking about people disappointing you and all that, about losing trust in people. I shared the story of a guy that I had given some money to invest in his business. I think 2 years ago thereabout, and he disappointed me. So I decided that I was not going to do anything with him or whatever because of that dishonesty. So recently, this just happened few days ago. To my surprise, recently this particular person called me, and he was in dire need of some financial support for his business. He told me he had some orders. An organization, I think a church, requested for him to supply supply about 150 pieces of meat pie or so, something like that. Some products he used to make. He had skill. He's very skillful, very very skillful. So he's a baker. He's a baker. So he had that order, and the clients told him he needed to supply everything before they pay him the balance. He wanted them to pay him 80% of the money so that he could have sufficient funds to execute the project. Unfortunately, the client refused. They said no, that we are going to pay you just 50,000. The money was over 150k. They said, oh, well, they were going to pay him just 50,000, and he was out of fund. He was out of cash at that moment. This happens to most of us business owners. So he called me and was like, he first started by apologizing. This is something he had never done for like 2-3 years that we had that issue. He started apologizing for what he did. I was surprised when he was speaking all those, telling me all those things. Apologize for what happened, this and that I should forgive him. He started apologizing. I was like, in my mind, one mind told me that, are you sure this guy doesn't want to beg you for something? So after he had apologized everything, said, please forgive me. I told him, I don't have anything against you right from time. That if you notice, I've been chatting with you, But since you proved you were not honest, I decided I'm not going to do business with you. But at a point, he then switched and started telling me everything, that he has called everybody, he has called his brother, his sister, that nobody sent him money. Came to my mind, I was like, oh, so if just 35,000 naira, around the amount, 35 to nobody could willingly give you 35,000 for your business. What does that mean? That means a lot. You have lost the trust of a lot of people. These are things most of us ignore, because there are times you will find yourself in a very deep, a very critical situation, and nobody will be willing to help you. So at that point, he was about crying. This is a very mature person. He was about crying that he was going to lose the business because he needed this money to do this order today so that tomorrow he will supply them. So at that point, based on the recent trade we'll be having on Character Room about forgiveness, initially I was like, I'm not going to reply to this guy for anything again. But at a second, this life, there's nothing in this life, we keep learning, and someone might do something wrong, and she was just promising me that he had changed, that he was not going to disappoint. So to cut the long story short, I actually supported him. I gave him the money, right? Then after that, after some time, he told me that the money had not dropped, that the thing was hanging, like so many stories. I still had to give him extra money too, right? So what I'm saying this is that this is a lesson. When we don't have character, it will tell on us. Even though we have skill, a point we in need of people to support us. And because we don't have character and we have lost the trust of people, we will not get that support. And that is when it will dawn on us that indeed character is the most important thing that we needed to uphold, even though we had skills, right? So I just want us to know that character is really important. And personally, from my experience, it's really helping me, because it helps me in my business. Sometimes I might need someone to release product of 500k, 700k. They will release it to me because of that trust. But look, this is someone that just needed 30,000, and it was difficult for him to get it from somebody because he didn't have that trust. So anytime we lose trust with people, we have lost everything, because that trust is more than currency. It's stop here. Thank you all, and God bless you all.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Um, mm. So some of these little things, they actually matter. Little things of every day, they do matter. Please, I'm asking it, where is the manuals we're about to? Mr. Tunde, go ahead.
As my partial namesake was speaking, something came to my mind.
How is it partial mistake?
It's Kore
Okay.
Nachuku and Tunde Nachuku.
Tunde Nachuku. God will help you.
So, as I was talking, a couple of things dropped into my mind, and I decided to Let me share them and also say a couple of things. In 2021, post COVID, I crashed completely in business. When I say I crashed, I meant I crashed. I had no kobo, except the money I had were the ones in Yoruba, they say I had them on my neck. When in Yoruba, they say you have money on your neck, that means you're owing. And I spoke to a friend and I reached out to a couple of friends, and some didn't respond, but some responded. In fact, I think same day, a friend in 2021 gave me a 150,000 naira. And there was one of them that didn't respond. Later, we got talking, and I told him I reached out to you at also point in time. You didn't. He felt so bad, and as if he was owing me. And the same day, he sent me 50,000 naira. So at that moment of my life, I I got to know how important that you have the right people in your life, and how important it is also for one to be the right person in the life of most people. On the group of my secondary school mates, once anybody has any problem, I am the one that will talk to others. As a matter of fact, it's as if if we don't hear today's voice, we will not give money. If they are not giving and they hear my voice, they will give. There are some of us that are well to do that. Once I reach out to them, they will give some money. A couple of days ago, immediately after character room meeting in the morning, one of us reached out to me. But for what God helped me to do for that guy, maybe by now he will have been blind. He had to reach out to me that he needs funds. I reach out to people. What am I trying to say? All of these people, there is no time that I reach out to them. Once they hear my voice, the money is not for me, read, it's not for me. If it is 5,000, 10,000, 3,000 that we have on the group, it would only take me to talk to two or three of them. They will drop their 100,000 and would get what we want to get. Also, in the same 2021, a friend released about 40 million naira to me, and we did the business. As a matter of fact, where I signed the agreement for the business, the MOU for the business, he wasn't there. He just trusted that. All he just told me was I should be sure of what I am signing. He never collected the agreement from me to say he wants to read. 39 million or thereabouts. We did the business. The money was delayed. The only proof that he had that he gave me money was the fact that I was sending the money to my account. And after the job was done, about 60 million came to my account, not to his account. The money was delayed for about 5 months, but there was no doubt at the end of the day, the business went. For this friend, if I need 5 million naira this morning, all that I need to do is either to send him a WhatsApp message, or if it is so important, to call. The question I will hear is that when do I need the money? I will tell him. And I have one, two, three other friends like that that I can call and say, can I get 250,000 from you? If I need like a 1 million naira today, maybe three, four people I'll call and I'll get the money. So it is important. I love what Madam Flora said a couple of minutes ago. He said you don't need to do so much part time. It is just, they say that little drops of water makes mighty ocean. They it's I had this quote here someday that said that when you sow a thought, you reap an action. When you sow an action, you reap a habit. When you sow a habit, you reap a character. When you sow a character, you reap a destiny. Our reputation before people, it is what they have seen us do over time. There are some people, their words and their deeds, if they meet in darkness self, they will not know themselves. I want to ask anyone or everyone that is hearing my voice this morning, have you done business with anybody and it went bad and you are owing them money and you haven't given the money? I will advise, open up the conversation again with them and give a payment plan. Now I avoid borrowing money as much as I could, unless when I am sure that, okay, this is what I want to use these funds for. Because sometimes when you don't dot your I's or cross your T's well and you collect money from people and you are not able to pay back, there's nothing that sinks a man more than that. And you will now realize that in the day that you need help, you would not have anybody who would help you. Sincerely, for me, the greatest voodoo that exists, the greatest Yahoo Yahoo that exists, the greatest money ritual that exists is integrity or good character. It would always save you. My wife will have died now, but for a friend. And I just have those people who I can't cry where they are. It's not even they hearing my cry. It's somebody telling them that I have issues. And I am too sure they will run and they will come to my aid. So I tell us, it is no fluke. It is not just ordinary saying that your net worth is your really net worth. We need to pay. I want to say a very big congratulations to all of us in this room, because we don't know what we are getting. We don't know what we are gaining. And as we are here and as you see in this room now, I have negotiated business with a number of people there. And for me, it's a lot of advantage because it means that my sphere of influence is expanding. So we should always hold ourselves accountable. We should not take a no for an answer. Yes, we will sleep someday. Sometimes we'll make mistakes. Sincerely, if you genuinely make mistakes, people don't double check my words. But if I'm not able to deliver on my word, I am upfront to call. Maybe I owe you, I'm not able to pay you at the time that I said I'm paying you. Before that time, I will call you. I think last time I collected money from a friend and I couldn't pay when I said I was going to pay. We kept having conversations. And even when it delayed and I said I was going to pay interest, it was one who said, no, don't pay the interest, just pay the principal. I paid it and I've gotten a lot of some. And it's the same friend that 100 million is changing hands between me and him now. And I was supposed to raise 20 million as a conversation starter. And I couldn't raise it. And I went back to him and said, I couldn't raise this money. What can we do? And he came back to me and said, I will take over next year, January. And just give me how you intend to pay. Just as little as that. And it seems as if there's something I'm using. No, there is nothing. It is what the person has seen in close to a decade that we've done business together. So if we can hold ourselves accountable and we can do these things. And I changed before now. When I need some funds, I used to go to microfinance bank. I don't do that again. My microfinance bank are people all around me. If I need 10 million naira now and I call Flora, she will give it to me straight because I know she knows that Tunde Nachuku is somebody of integrity. Let me stop here. Good morning again.
Thank God you decided to stop here. Some people are just direct and then direct bullies, but it's okay. I forgive you. Well done. And thanks for everything you said. And we'll just share these things here, but it's so beautiful how just little thing, just little things like this, they help us to grow. And you might think that people are not watching. People are watching. People are seeing you. I shared with us here yesterday about what happened when we went out, and just you deciding to, okay, let me support, let me help these people, and before you know it, that's a good. You never can tell. Maybe next time they'll say, "Oh, Flora will always be there to help." So little things of every day. Yes, you have your teaching skill, you can do all that, but at that moment is not needed. What they need at that moment was your help, your support, and so you being able to help them achieve that thing makes a difference, and they will never forget that experience. So just like we said, the skills, people can easily forget the skills, especially when they don't need the skills that you offer them when they've moved on. They can easily forget. But how you made them feel, the impact of you working with them, helping them achieve that thing makes a lot of sense. Any other person wants to share? What's coming to your mind? And let me go back to the chat. Can character be recovered? Sure. Character is a journey. It's a journey, and that's why I always say here, begin again. Trust me. And when you people do not know you about something, like they know that this person can never be truthful and all that, and you change. The problem is consistency. When you are consistent, when you start, they will be like, oh, this one is showing off, this one is pretending. But oftentimes, like when they see that you've changed, like in a year, consistently with discipline, they may not necessarily forget the past, but they will judge you with the future or the present. And they say, oh no, she's changed. I trust her, she can come. So you can always, character is an active verb. It's something that you can learn and become every time. So it's not static. One of the things, the reason why I am bent on teaching character in the organization now is because over the years, when we talk about character, we think it's all about children. We think it's all about, oh, if you don't groom your child 0 to 5 years, they will not become. Yes, very critical. 0 to 5, very important that you help them, grow, build their character, values, and morals. But yes, a sinner can always become a saint. There's oftentimes, there's always a time when you say, I'm done. I don't want to tell lies anymore. I don't want to be this kind of person. We've seen people who, let me use the word prostitutes, who became saints, who became good people, married and stayed through their husbands. We've seen people who are like who did bad things, criminals. They repented, they became pastors, they became men of God. We've seen people who did a lot, but then when they change their behavior, but what is important is discipline and consistency. And people oftentimes will forget the fact that you didn't achieve this at this time, that there's always a room. So when you begin again, it takes a while for people, and you also need to give people permission and give people room to see your new self. And with time, they will get to realize that, okay, this person is not that kind of person that we know before. He has changed. She's become a good person. She's now a better person. So character can change. You can recover. You might not necessarily recover what was lost entirely, but you can build a new life. People can get to know you, because there are some things that you may not recover, especially if people's life you're involved, but then you can change and become another version of yourself that people will appreciate. Does that make sense? Olubumi, please go ahead.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone. Just two things came to mind as I was listening to our discussions this morning. The first is that even a thief would rather entrust his money into the hands of a trustworthy person. I think Sunday needs to mute. What this means is that your character will always speak for you, no matter what. It's Sunday. You need to mute. Thank you. So your character would always speak for you. It's Sunday.
Sunday, please be on mute.
So nobody
Not
could tell me that something was
why I can't mute him as well. I'm trying to. Sunday, please, can you be on mute?
okay, sport.
Sunday, please. Speak or something. I'm trying to. I will mute him from the call. He can join me.
Thank you. So that's the first thing. Your character would always speak for you. So that's an encouragement to keep at it. The other thought is, why is it that we don't have like gradients for character? What do I mean? With skills, there are different ways to prove that, I have aced this level, I'm ready for the next level. Maybe the reason people go all the way to the university is because there's such a system. Maybe if all we had was primary school, then some people wouldn't aspire to greater institutions of learning. So I was thinking about it. Why don't we have such graduations with respect to character? Why, for example, don't we have something that says I am 10% kind, and in the next 5 years, I want to ensure that I become 50% kind or something? So it's just a thought. Maybe our academics in the house could take this up. How do you grade character? How do you grade ethics? Should you even grade? Who exactly would be responsible for vetting that grading is appropriate? So yeah, it's just a thought that came to mind, and I thought to share with us. Thank you.
Sorry, I got distracted a bit. I didn't get the question you asked. I just heard academics and all that.
Okay,
Um,
say it
yeah, people
in 30 seconds. So maybe we should begin to think about grading character so that people have something against which to judge. If a person is honest and wants to increase in honesty, how does the person do that? A person is kind, a person is timely, all these ethics, all these values. Maybe we should consider some kind of gradation such that people have benchmarks. People have things to aspire to the way we have things to aspire to when it comes to our skills. Thank you, ma'am.
I see. There are lots of hands up, but let me allow them to share. Tunde and Chuku go ahead briefly. Then we have Lily and then Binta.
Thank you, Olumimi, for your profound thoughts always. The reason why it will be very difficult to grade character, or for there to be a generic or a generally acceptable way to measure character, is because character can be very subjective. What do I mean? It's very easy for they say one man's meat is another man's poison. It's easy for me now. The things that I'll give you an instance. For me, marrying a second wife is out of it. But for someone whose religion is some religion actually permits it, some culture permits it. You understand what I'm trying to say? I said there sometimes ago that there is this culture where when they want to entertain a man, they allow the man sleep with their wife. When they are doing that, it means that the man is being entertained. But for us in this part of the world, that is barbaric. So it's very difficult to benchmark. Who benchmark? You are the one that benchmarks, that says, okay, because of this that is going on, I want to benchmark according to this standard. You decide what your benchmarking standard is. So also, there is this aspect of deception too. It is possible that people decide to program themselves to behave. Madam Flora, can you mute for now, please? There are some people who do some certain things. some men or some women are wooing some other person and they are pretentious about it. So when you say this is the benchmark and people know it is the benchmark, they will go and rehearse it. You know, they will rehearse and they will behave in a particular acceptable way. It is not because they are owning that, but it's because they want to beat the system or they want to beat the organization. So it's something that is possible but extremely difficult. But what could happen is, okay, for example, this is character rule. We have our own ethics. We have our rules that guides us. Even in families, some mothers will encourage their daughters or their sons. If their son is going out with a girl from a family that is very rich, it's fine. Any other conditions notwithstanding. And to the young man, it's okay. A lady can go out with, several men. Some women, some families permit it. And you see, when the lady goes out, okay, a young girl who grows up seeing the mother does all manner of things, sleep with all manner of men, and even the mother herself is introducing the young girl to some men that are sleeping. The person now gets out, and you are saying that those things. So it's very difficult, even though it's not impossible. But what is practicable is that for a particular group of people, but for particular organization to decide that these are going to be my code of ethics. And on a final note, the person who can decide the standard of his or particular code of conduct of character is that individual. It is when you set a standard for yourself. And I was talking here sometimes, and that's why God, we are free moral agents. You know, you can decide what you want. So it is more of an individualistic thing. It is more of something that can only be limited to a particular group of people. That's why it's easy when 2, 3 people come together to say, we will behave in a particular way. That's why you could see people. Okay, I was always saying here that I belong to an organization, Faith Foundation. I have never seen anything where Faith Foundation is reading out the instruction, the do's and don'ts. But it is just like that thing is on the top of the mind for everybody who is at least visible in that ecosystem, that you can't do anything unethical. You can't come and misbehave. And we all know and we live by it. So let me stop there.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Tunela Chukwu. A few things I need to point out now. Character and ethics are not subjective. Please, I'm taking that back from what you said. Ethics is not subjective in any way. Ethics is objective. And character is, we know what good and what is bad. Marrying a second wife, it doesn't have anything to do with character. You can choose that doesn't have anything to do with character. It's the behavior thing. And you can choose to marry second wife and treat them well, and you are not out of character. That one is dogma, that one is Christian, that was rules. But when we talk about values and talk about character, we are talking about things that no matter what, no matter who is involved, these are life principles, and we get them right from birth. Like nobody is telling you, everybody knows that. So even when there are religions, there are these things we say, okay, murder people and go to heaven. Those things are not character. But what we all know, and the reason why they are hiding is because they know that killing is wrong. Everybody knows we have values that guides all of us. So it's not about, there's no subjectivity in it, whether certain standards. So let me share, there is difference between rules and regulations, and there is difference between character. And that's why now we are preaching character. The character is the person. Who are you? And so in an organization where there are rules, a good rule and a bad rule, you see that when somebody of good character comes into this organization, and this organization has good rules that they've set for themselves, which is an ethical system, they would stay. If the system is not in tune with their character, with who they are, two options: either the system corrupts them, or if they're a person of character, they walk away. So it's not subjective. It's not about who detects what. We all know what is good. So for a child who was groomed to, fight and do all that, that child will get to school. They start seeing, oh, people are not doing this. People are not doing that. And when they want to, imagine the young child, the child who just killed his daughter, not daughter, his sister, because he figured that since the younger sister came, he's just about 10, or I don't know how old she is, but he murdered the sister. Nobody taught him that at home, and he knew it was wrong. So he was waiting for daddy and mommy to not be available for them to kill, for him to actually murder the sister. So nobody taught him to kill. He understood that I need to hurt this person, because we all have that's why we call life principles. There are things that guide everybody. So when people decide to set a different rule, it's somebody that started the second wife thing. It's somebody that thought about, why should we even marry one wife in the first place? So is it a sin to marry one wife? That is doctrine. What is marriage? That is doctrine. If we want to follow the Catholic teaching, the whole Catholic teaching is, okay, marry one wife. But then a Muslim teaching says marry 4 wives. But then it was in a caveat, and that's where character comes in. The caveat says you must treat all of them fairly. That is character. So dogma is you are free to marry 4 wives. But character says if you choose to marry these 4 people, you cannot treat someone unethically. That's where character comes in. So when you see a man who married, he has not done anything wrong marrying 4 wives. He just did what he pleases. And there is nothing wrong marrying 1 wife or 2 wives if you can stay with them. It's the church that introduces marry 1 wife. Before the culture or the religion came, our forefathers, they married more and they treated them nicely. Women had tongues and all that. Because there are values that everywhere we go, no matter what, these are like, they are natural things that come in, except for the rules we set for ourselves. That's why when we get to organization, everyone there is no organization that puts in front of their maybe as their core value. Our core value here is wickedness, greedy. No matter how bad that organization is, you know that they are doing unethical thing. Their core value is integrity, responsibility, truthfulness, discipline. That's what they will put online. But because those are values, everybody knows it. It's not subjective. Everybody knows it. But when they go back, when they go back, they do what they want. So let's not mix things. Currently, the reason why I am calling character is because I'm intentional about focusing on the person. I'm not intentional about the system, because trust me, if you build the system, putting rules and regulations without building the person, they would go and dismantle the system. People will maneuver the system. Yesterday, there was a new a fraud. One of the banks, they sentenced one person who did 140 million fraud or whatever in one of the banks. Does it mean there are no rules? Does it mean that there are no systems in place to guard the person? But you can't guard people when you've not changed their behavior, when they don't understand that these things are it's not this thing. Life is not subjective. That means you are telling people that you do what you feel is okay. No, we don't do what is feel is okay. If all of us should do what we feel is okay, the world will be a chaotic place. And so trying to answer what we can measure and what we cannot measure. When we start measuring, there are loads of tools out there. personality tools, behavioral tools, and everything that we can use to measure some of these things. But recently in the academia, we are seeing that we are breaking values into things. It's now becoming a skill. It's now becoming like we are not bringing the subjective, the humanity in them anymore. We are just trying to break it down. So people are saying is I can choose to be 3, I can choose to be 4. No, everybody is moving to demonia. That means flourishing life. And for you to be a flourishing person, for you to get to a place where we all need there are good things to do. And we can think about measuring, how do we measure these things? But the more we think about measurement, the more we think about how do we rank this person, somebody can choose to be, okay, they say I can be 3 integrity at the number 3. Okay, I choose not to be number 5. Let me just be a person of integrity number 3. That's why there are a group of people in the academia who are objecting to measuring character. Be a good person, treat people fairly. There are 8 principles that everybody should have, create these things. It's not subjective. You can't choose to murder people and wake up and say it's murdering. Yes, religion can help us because people create those things. People create rules. People create because of order, or just to bring sanity. People create those things, but they are not subjective. We all know, everybody knows what is good and what is bad. And that's why when you see somebody who does something bad, they will hide. They don't come openly to tell you, I did this very thing wrong. It's a long and very, very long conversation, but let me allow people to learn. Flora, I maintain the character like this could be objective, can be quite subjective, depending on the lens. There is no lens. Ethics, we can exempt ethics because ethical systems are created by people. But then the person of character, there's no subjectivity in it. And it doesn't have to do with what you are doing. It is who you are. So behaviors can change, but who you are doesn't change, especially if you build yourself in a person that you can grow, you can outgrow it, you can decide to leave whatever you are doing, but the person you are speaks for you. Ethics can, and that's why these days I teach less of ethics. I teach more of character. Who are you? So that when you enter a place where it's unethical, because of who you are, you can walk away. That's making a choice. Or you can stay and change people. But that's also a bit dicey if you can't change them. And then they will drag you to who they need to become. But it's not subjective at all. It's not. And values, everyone knows. Well, this is a long conversation, but let's call it now. It's 8:23. Lily, go ahead, and Binta, go ahead. We have time to discuss this, and we can also go and research and see what the research is saying about character and the difference between ethics and character. Ethics and character are different things, so please, you people should be aware.
Okay. Good morning, all the champions of character in the house. It's good to be here. Well, yeah, I just want to respond to the question. And I quite agree that character is not subjective. When we say character is subjective, we validate the problem that has almost become a cancer in society. Now everybody says, this is my truth. This is how I am. Yeah. If you're looking for the yardstick to measure, I'm going to come from this perspective. Ma'am Flora, please, can you mute your mic so that we don't have
Okay, thanks.
Okay. So yeah, I'll come from this perspective. I like that Mr. Tunde mentioned that He mentioned that God has made us all with free will. Yeah. But we cannot rule out the fact that He has also written His laws on our hearts. And something I'm going to say is, like Madame Flora said, these laws are more like unspoken rules to humanity. Whether or not we agree, you see the laws that God has instituted from the beginning, you see them even in national constitutions, because the constitution says, thou shalt not kill. If you kill, there's a penalty. How did the constitution know? How did the lawmakers know this? God is the ultimate lawmaker. That's what I'm trying to point out here. Whether it's character, whether it's ethics, whatever it is exactly that you're looking for, look to Jesus, is what I would say. When he was a carpenter with his father, you would see there was no mention that he defaulted or he was truant or he was slothful in any way. Yeah. When it comes to character, you see he was peace loving, all the works basically. He was all of that. And then talking about having graduations for character. So the thing is, character in the actual sense of the word, character is a daily commitment. I don't know if that sunk in, but character is a daily commitment. It's not something you say, okay, I have character, I will always have character. I'm sorry for you, once saved is not always saved. It is something you need to choose to stick to on a daily basis. On a daily basis, you need to say, I will always be this person. It's just like in love relationships. The reason why love relationships do not work these days is because commitment is a lot of work. And people don't have the mental bandwidth, the emotional dexterity to commit in actions. So they just stick to committing in words. And they say, I love you, but the actions don't show that they have really and actually committed to this person. Because something I would say is, to wrap up, is commitment fuels a mind shift. Once you commit and say, this is who I am, this is who I want to continue to be, there is a mind shift that comes with it, such that subconsciously you will continue to act in that line. I saw something someone posted. He said getting engaged to his girlfriend made most of their problem. Why? Because both of them were no longer guessing, will this work, will this not work? There was a mindset shift because they understood, okay, we are together in this and we are working towards this, right? And that's basically the same thing with character. It's not about collecting accolades, but it's about saying, this is who I want to die as. In fact, let that be your graduation. This is who I want. Just have it in your head that, okay, when I die, what do I want people to remember me for? And work towards that. God bless us all.
Bless you too. Beautiful. Thanks for sharing. There's something that when you were speaking, something just came to my mind. And then you talked about people coming together. You know what? I know that I'm not exempting the fact that marriages now, things happening and people will choose to walk away. But since we opened the door for divorce, In fact, these days you don't need to go and stay on a long queue and file for divorce. Just send a message to your lawyer. It's done in the next 3 days. Since we opened that door, we've lost our need to commit and to sacrifice. I was listening to a couple yesterday. They are 5 years into their marriage. And one thing that I kept, that in the initial stage, it was difficult, just like life every time. When you are growing as the PP, it's difficult for you to start walking. You need to crawl, you need to, when you fall, you get up and all that. But you get to a point where you stand gidigba. And then they were sharing how at the early stage, it was as if we can't do this. But then because they've committed that we are here together, no leave, no transfer. And because they closed the divorce doors, we value the fact that we are in this together and we are going to commit. Some days we don't talk, but we are saying we are here, we are going to make it work. And so they did not even know how lately, this past 5 years now, this past 1 year has been a beautiful, it seems that every issue that they had, the time has disappeared somehow because they say we are not going anywhere, we are here, we are going to walk around this and make it work. That now they are so in love, and it's so beautiful because we choose to commit to something. We are saying we are not leaving. But now you see 1 year marriage, 2 year marriage, everybody, we can't do this. Irreconcilable differences, says who? There's always somewhere to reconcile something, except when violence is there and when some other things is there. So sometimes it takes a will. And just like Jamaka said, we can choose to measure what, but the only measurement is I keep growing, I keep learning, I keep becoming better. Because when you put a measure to it, which is, maybe we can explore that. It means that today I'm 5, tomorrow I'm 2, today I'm 1. Do I stay in 1? No, I need to move to 5. But it's just something that happens in our head, that we keep growing and we keep learning to do things better. We keep being in that space where I am here. So I could decide to say, okay, I don't want to be a good person anymore. Because according to us, character is subjective. I could decide to be Agbero tomorrow. And we'll turn CharacterRoom into an Agbero sphere. We'll discuss this thing. And no, but that's how I decide to see life now. What would you think people will say? Would they judge me based on that's my choice? I choose to do that. And it's okay. That's how she chose to do life. So, Binta, go ahead. And we'll close up with that.
All right. Good morning, Madam Flora. Thank you for the opportunity. Character champions. Yes, I would like to respond to the question Ms. Olufemi asked with respect to why we not grading character. And the truth of the matter is, as Madam Flora will always say, character is a journey. I think that character is a deliberate action, as in your commitment at the day. See, there are some people. Recently, I met a secondary schoolmate, and they shared it, and she began to explain to me what she went through in a marriage. And I began to picture that person, as in, I was not looking that this person actually exhibits this kind of character. To some people, see, what happens to a man, a maltreat the wife and the children, and in the workspace, he's a good person to them. As in, people see that person as a good person. So this one is not about grade, it's about individual, as in yourself, your personality, kind of person you want to become. I do tell people you cannot say I'm good today, tomorrow you're bad, or you are good today, tomorrow you're wicked. That is character. If you want to exhibit good character, it was consistency in your action. Do you understand? It's not you what you are not. People can pretend a lot. You see a situation, this now come into skills and character. Some people are skillful, but they're is nothing to write home about. And this will not even help that skill you have. We've seen situation whereby a teacher, a very good teacher, is molesting the children in the school. We've seen a situation whereby a driver, very skillful in driving, and is molesting the students. So all these things that we need deliberate action regarding to the fact that in Islam it is permissible for a man to take 4 wives with a clause, with a caveat. But most people are actually working with regard to that. Most of them know. Do you understand? No one is stopping you from having 4 wives. But you as a person, are you capable emotionally, financially, physically fit to marry that 4 wives? At the end of the day, it will be a thing of working for that. You understand? So the thing is all about we individually. As in, tell yourself that this is the kind of person I want to be. This is the kind of character. And I don't tell people, sincerely speaking, good characters will take you far. Irrespective of maybe people applaud you, irrespective of maybe people acknowledge it, irrespective of maybe people validate it. Trust me, people are watching, people are observing, even if they do not respond to it. It will speak for you later. And you'll be glad that you took the decision. Do you understand? I do say something, sincerely speaking, we all know what is good, we all know what is bad. We just decide to make the choice we are making. You won't tell me that a person that is maltreating, a teacher that is maltreating a student in the classroom will tell me she does not know maltreating a child is bad. The level, I do tell people, the more we consume so much information, we consume so much knowledge, we have so much skill. Most of it is that we do not even apply those things we know are right. We are not ready to apply it. We now work based on our this is what I would do, and nobody will stop you actually. But your impression, the way you treat others, I do tell people kindness is something someone should have as a person. Empathy, one good thing. Try to understand how other people will feel even before you do something bad to people. Do you get it? And there is one thing, you might hurt someone and think maybe I've done this to hell and all of this. That impression within that person will always stay. Even if you guys are working, are going along, that thing, there will still be something that the person beneath that thing that the person will always tend to remember. Okay, let me share an experience. We were at our cooperative one day and a woman was asking a question. She said she was on Salah, she was praying, and next thing, something pop up her mind, what someone did to her, and she swear for that person right on the Salah. Can you imagine? She swear for that person and she went back to sleep. That is the way that... Hey. Okay. So now that was how the gravity of the way we treat people, the way we make people, the things we do to people, people can react to things anyhow. Do you get it? I do tell people, me as a person, I don't have control over the way you treat me. But trust me, I have absolute control about how I respond to the way you treat me. Do you get it? Some people, I do say, naturally, they do not have this character in them. Do you get? They are all around us. Some persons at their place of work, you will see them, you will picture them, this person is good, this person is this, but check their homes. For everything, charity begins at home. See, your family members, there are those people that can actually, this is who this person is. Okay, when I went for this grant competition and I was there, so my elder sister and my brother were talking, and she was telling me he's not in Nigeria, so she was telling me, the next thing he said, I trust her. She will bring back the prize home. Do you understand? This is about who you are as a person. You cannot say you are good at home, you are bad outside. You cannot say you are bad outside, you are good at home. This is about intentionality, about the kind of character you exhibit as a person. That is why it will be very difficult for you to now bring a grading system that this person is 100% honest. It is you that will grade yourself. You as a person. I did. That is why in Teach for Nigeria, we do something on reflection. See, if we can even adopt that singular thing, it will help us personally and professionally. You've done this, you're about to sleep. Now picture the way your journey went in the day. Now look at those things you did, those things you did not do. Now balance things and now being intentional. It's not me, I do. Words are very cheap. Action. Be deliberate about this thing, I will do it. Do you understand? And I think it will help us better and it will shapen. And trust me, good characters will pave way for you. Even when people who do not have this are trying to bury that character and not give you a significance, trust me, as times pass by, you will be happy and glad you took that decision. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks everyone. It's been an amazing day. Thanks, Pinta, for sharing. A lot of things to learn here. And we keep learning, we keep growing. This place is a place where we just keep reflecting. I just saw a post that Auntie Agnes shared, so heartwarming, and I shared it. So please let's go and read her thoughts, her reflection. And I also shared on my status. Please, you can share so that people will just get to learn some of these things. Olubimi, I don't know if we answered your question, but then we'll keep gradually exploring those things. It's a difficult place to be, and I tell you, I get that kind of question every day in the classroom, especially with executives, when they would say, Flora, this one, we have rules and regulation in the office, and then all those stuff and all. But I have my way, and we talk about some of these things. One of the things I usually say before I start my classes, especially with executive, is I'm not here to make you believe me. I'm here to share insights. The decision of what to do is still lies on you, and you make all the choices. So I'm here to just share insights, but ethics, whether you will do what I say, it's your personal decision. So, and with that, I create a caveat that says, this is what we are talking about, but this is what you choose to do. So we are learning every day. Thanks, everyone. Tonight, Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Anyway, thanks everyone for staying through today. We'll come back tomorrow. And next tomorrow, Thursday, we are going to conclude on forgiveness, and we have Mr. Labinte also share his insights around forgiveness. Please, let's make it a date. Tomorrow, we'll continue our conversation. Then Friday, our book review. A lot of other things that we need to plan. Agnes, please, we need to plan. Let's see if we can squeeze in our goal setting before we go on holiday. Another question I want to ask is, what happens during holiday? Do we have character room still coming up every day, or should we take a break? Please reflect around that and share your ideas. Maybe tomorrow we'll start taking in feedback. What do people think? What that we'll do during the Christmas period, so that when you are eating rice, we're also reminding you to eat rice in a character-driven way. Bye, everyone, and have a good day. So that you will not overfeed yourself. Bye.